VUDU Garage. Today we are at Croft, and you can see behind me we are putting together a Trackday Essentials video. Essentially, you know, we know that a lot of our customers, they either aspire to go on track at some point, or they're already at a point where they're ready to go on track, or they do track sessions at Ford Fair or whatever. I thought I'd put together a little bit of a video of what you should be looking to do to the car prior to the event, what you should bring to the event, and you know, some of the sort of professional conduct when you're out on circuit, what you should be doing, letting it cool down, how many laps you should do, all that sort of stuff. I mean, it varies differently based on what tyres you use and things like that, but as a general overview, I thought putting a Trackday's Essentials video together would be really beneficial to our customers and other people that watch this on YouTube.
If you don't listen that much, but some of y'all don't listen at all. The same shit they be pushing your buttons. Got a grown man having withdrawals. I don't mind if you don't listen that much. Yo, I just mind.
So once inside the car, obviously we've spoken about you know, preparing the car before you come to the circuit. You know, it's important when you're in the car to feel comfortable, remove all of the things that can roll around, because I can guarantee that if you go out and there's something under the seats or in the cup holders or in the side pockets, I can promise you it's going to find its way out, and if that finds its way under a brake pedal, you've got a really big problem, or it's just annoying when it's rattling around, or you can hear it on your GoPro or whatever. From a seating position point of view, everybody's a little bit different. I quite like the wheel high and up towards, you know, right in my face, so I'm not got too much movement. But the last thing you want to do is rock up at the circuit and go out like you know you drive on the road with your seat back and more comfortable. You need to be in a position where you're not reaching for the wheel, usually that. So if you're like this with a straight arm when you come over, that's no good, because the minute you come to a fast corner where you need to put plenty of steering angle in, you're going to be stretching to get the angle in, and you can't control what you're doing. Most of our customers are probably going to be using a manual gearbox. Again, you want to be nice and upright, so you've got not as much room going from the wheel to the gear knob. So you're quickly back to the wheel. You know, you always want to try and keep two hands on the wheel at all times where possible. If you're like me, fortunate enough to have a DCT box or a Golf with a you know, a DSG or whatever, the paddles, again, I've extended the paddles using MMR ones before coming to this day, purely because when you're really on it and you're bouncing around, it's nice to be able to know that no matter where your hand or fingers land, you've got some paddle. Yeah, so if you haven't got these extended paddles, the main thing to do is try and keep yourself comfortable and I always keep my fingers sort of not pressing any pressure on the paddle, because you don't want to hit a bump and then change it downshift because you're going round, but certainly so that you know where you're at any one time. Other than that, the main things are mirrors, because again, we'll go through some etiquette when we go out on the track. It's really important, and some people fall foul of this because you get so much in the zone that you're not looking in your mirrors and there's faster cars behind you. If you can just take a moment to just relax, you know, you're not winning any prizes, and just have a little look in the mirrors. I always try and find myself as much room as I possibly can in front and behind, so if you're quicker, you're not catching everything. If you're not as quick, you know, you've let all the fast cars past and you've got plenty of space. But we'll go through that when we go out on the track, which it looks like we might as well do that now. Right, so as a starting point for the essentials that you can prepare before you come to the circuit, obviously you need to make sure that the car has had a full service, oil and filter, check if you've got gearbox oils, brake fluid, all of this sort of stuff. We all know what happens when brakes don't work, if you've seen this before on the channel. So it's one of those things. It's really, really important to check brake fluid, check oil and filter, do all that sort of stuff. We use Miller's for our oil. They've been really, really good, and they've sponsored us right through Time Attack. We won the championship using their oil. We have in the race car, we have Miller's brake fluid. In most of our road going cars, we use a Trax brake fluid, which again is in this M4 for today. So in terms of braking, it's tempting, because it's an expensive day out doing a track day, it's tempting to scrimp on things like discs and pads and stuff like that. That's the only thing that's making you stop when you arrive at turn one. So essentially, if you're going to scrimp and scrape to put your brakes together, or you're not going to change them, just don't bother booking on the day. Just because all you're going to do is VUDU cars here again, look. You're gonna run the risk of damaging your car. You're gonna run the risk of hurting yourself or hurting somebody else. So we use on the race car, it's got Trax big brake kit and all the bells and whistles. But on a road going car, which is what this video is all about, I would use something like a Mintex, a DS2500. As I've got on this car today, I've got the EBC blue stuff, which is their Trackday pad. It's not too noisy on the road, but it's good, and it's helping me stop, definitely. I mean, it feels really good. I would look at your discs. If the discs are looking a little bit worn, bring a spare set with you. Ultimately, you don't want to go out on track and first time they get hot, you're getting vibration through the wheel from a warped disc and not have anything to change them to, because all the excitement goes out the window. So at that point, I think we can probably, touch on the fact, check your tyres, all that sort of stuff. If you can afford to, sticky tyres make a big difference. Power isn't everything on the circuit, as I've said before. This car's 550 horsepower and it goes well, but you get out of there when there's some race cars that have got half the power, but they're really well set up chassis and good tyres, and they're just going to disappear from you. Essentially, it's about having fun and staying relaxed, and not putting your car at too much risk, or yourself or others. So having done all that, there's a little bit of warming up, cooling down, all that sort of stuff. Generally speaking, when I come in, particularly with a turbocharged car, you want to leave it running for a little while to circulate oil through the turbocharger until it starts to bring itself back to a natural temperature. Then you can knock the car off. The brakes, on the other hand, again, try not to put your handbrake on. I tend to roll mine forward every sort of 5 minutes or so, backwards, just so that nothing's sticking on. You can hear them pinging away, which you may or may not be able to hear now. We've been backing off the track for a little while. So, I mean, look, if anybody's got any questions regarding, what tyres to use, what pads to use, and all that sort of stuff, just general advice, drop a comment below. I'd be happy to speak from my experience, which, I'm no Formula 1 racing driver, but I've been around the track for a while, and I've done a fair bit of stuff, whether it be Time Attack with the fast laps, or some endurance racing, or karting, or whatever. And I'm more than happy to help. I think the more people that do this, the better for the motorsport economy and the track day economy. and ultimately it's about having fun and doing this rather than going driving fast on the road, in my opinion, is way more enjoyable, and it's much safer. So I encourage it wherever possible. If customers want to come with us, we are going to look to having days again where we take customers with us, and they could enjoy the circuit, but ask us any questions about, you know, the car, how they should, you know, what they're feeling within the car, and whether something needs changing or whatever. So yeah, we'll keep in touch with us, and we'll if there's anything that you think that we should cover in another episode of, you know, not necessarily Trackday essentials because we've done that, but any further in-depth knowledge about, you know, signing on, briefings, all that sort of stuff, because it can be a little bit intimidating, just drop us a comment and let us know, and we'll see you next time round.